Opening a Small Business by Santana, Marie Dorado, and Gabe Gonzalez. Today we are opening a wing restaurant with their information based off of our expert, the Redlands Wingman, and incredible websites as well. Our first step in opening our small business today is market research. Firstly, you have to do market research to help to see if your business idea will flourish in today's market. Ironically, our expert said he did not. Although however much research you have to do, it depends on the business you want to open. For us, opening a food restaurant did not need as much because, as our expert said, everyone eats every day. Step 2 of opening our small business: funding your business. You may have to get a loan, or you might already have the money for it from saving or already being well off. But here's what our expert had to say about that.
I had a 9-to-5, so before I was just putting away money that I needed. So I mapped out like what I needed, how much I needed, and then I just did it one thing at a time, one item at a time.
Step 3 of opening our small business: you need a business location. Maybe where there is an open space, there's not a lot of foot traffic, so you would not get a lot of business. Your business location is one of the most important decisions you'll make.
Location is 1560 Barton Road, Redlands, California, 92373.
Again, here's what our expert has to say about that.
It wasn't forced, so there was a lot of different other opportunities that could have happened, and it didn't. So I don't force anything. What's for me is for me, and that's for anybody. So you don't have to force nothing. Like if it's for you, it's gonna happen, and that's what happened here. When I brought it to Laroon, I was like, "Hey man, you want to share the spot?" Because there were some other kitchens that didn't go through with me, and he was like, "Yeah." And so we found out that we had to get approval because he leases the location, and I sublease through him. And all we had to do was submit my menu and get it approved, and it got approved. You know what I mean? Everything flowed. So, that's how I knew, like, that it was the right move, because it wasn't forced. I didn't have to work hard. It happened.
Step 4. You have to choose a business structure. Your business structure affects how much you pay in taxes, your ability to raise money, the paperwork you need to file, and your personal liability. Step 4. We are a corporation. Here's what our expert had to say.
So basically, I was sole proprietor. So that meant that I was the owner of the company, right? So everything that the company did ran through me. Becoming a corporation, now Wingman Redlands is its own entity. So it's basically what Amazon is. It's basically what Walmart is. It's its own entity. So I separated myself from the business. So now everything is through Wingman Redlands. And now being a corporation, I'm able to actually put myself on payroll now. And I never was able to do that. I was never on payroll. I paid employees and I just paid my bills, but I never paid myself. So now being a corporation, I learned that it's a tax write-off too. So I have to pay myself minimum $20,000 a year and then write it off. So that's the difference from where I was being a sole proprietor to being a corporation or LLC. Like, you write off everything, literally.
Yeah. That's why I asked, like, if you went to school, because I know they teach, like, how to write off and, like, stuff like that.
Nah, that's what my tax man tells me. That's his job. You know what I mean? He tells me everything I need to do, and I just follow instructions,
Step 5. Business name. Here's what our expert had to say.
Instagram, and you know how when you're making a profile, you checking to see like if the name is taken or something like that, and Wingman is common, right? So I was looking at like all these different like wing names for everything, and even though it was taken because it's common, Wingman, I felt like with the theme of the Top Gun theme, how we have like never leave your wingman, so I felt like that was like a good slogan to back me up, like I got a good product. And then once they tried it, and I was like, hey, never leave your wingman, because usually when you have somebody like or a product or something that you stick with them. It's like a barber. You feel me? You don't really step out on your barber. You know what I mean? Or you got a nail tech. You know what I'm saying? I know when my dogs need help, I call Miss Kim. You know what I mean? And I put them feet up in that thing there, and she get to rubbing on them calf muscles and stuff. Like, hey, I go to Miss Kim. You know what I mean? So when putting redness behind it though, to me is what took it to the next level, because I felt like nobody knew me in the city. I was doing food all over the city, and I was like, hey, don't nobody even know me in Redlands. So I was like, I'm the wingman in Redlands. You know what I mean? And then I just ran with it. Instagram says nobody had that name, so.
Step 6. Register your business. Register your business to make it a distinct legal entity. How and where you need to register your business depends on your business structure and business location.
Step 7. Your state tax ID and federal tax ID numbers, also known as an employer identification number, work like a personal social security number, but for your business. They let your small business pay state and federal taxes. Here's what our expert had to say.
Oh, just paperwork, paying the state. That's all they want is money. So paying for your business license, paying for your fictitious business name, paying for your health permit, getting a seller's permit, which is free. You just apply online. But that's what makes you legit. When you apply for your DBA, and that's your business name, you have it published in the newspaper for 4 weeks, and that solidifies your business name. After that, you get your business license, you get your health permit, and that's really it. And after that, you're ready to go.
Step 8. Most small businesses need a combination of licenses and permits from both federal and state agencies. The requirement and fees vary based on your business activities, location, and government rules. Here's what our expert had to say. Step 9. Open a business account when you're ready to start accepting or spending money as your business. A business bank account helps you stay legally compliant and protected. It also provides benefits to your customers and employees.
Food handlers, that's easy. You just go to San Bernardino County website, and it's like $22. You pay the $22, and then you take the course, and then at the end, it gives you a test. And once you pass the test, you got a food handler's card. I think it's good for like 3 years.
Step 10. Startup cost.
A business license is maybe like $172. Your DBA, that was $55. Newspaper publishing was like $45. Fryers, they go from anywhere from $700 to $1,400 depending on what you get. And I had like 3 Macs running. Deep freezer cost like $500. To have it mounted on on caster wheels where we can like roll it everywhere, that was like another $400 just to have a custom build out. My trailer cost like $1,200 at the time. What else was it? Canopy. The canopy was like $1,047, and then the walls to go around the canopy was like $600. Propane tanks were like $75, and then to fill it up, I had like 7 tanks, man. It's like $180. So if you think about just filling all the tanks up to go do an event, health department, your health permit was like $472 a year. You had to have that. What else did I need to have? And then you got to think about all the money it costs to like the chicken, the napkins, the spoons, the containers, the foil, the ranch cups, the lids, all the stuff to make the ranch, all the stuff to make the sauce, French fries. Yeah, I would say like a restaurant depot trip costs about $2,300 a week. So it takes a lot to run a business. And then you have payroll, and you pay employees. Payroll's like $2,600 a week. So it adds up quick. Yep.
What skills and qualities are needed to open a business?
You need to have dedication and the time that it takes to actually run a small business. You also need to be transparent and have clear communication. If you have an employee that is constantly underperforming, you have to be able to tell them about themselves and even fire them if you have to.
Economic terms: human capital, knowledge and skills a worker gains through education and experience. Variable costs are costs that rise or fall depending on how much is produced. Competition, the regulating force of the free market. Macroeconomics is the study of the behavior and decision-making of entire economics. Minimum wage is the set minimum price that an employer can pay a worker for an hour of labor. Here are some more economic terms. Availability of substitutes. If there are a few substitutes for a good, then demand will not likely decrease as price increases. Relative importance. Another factor determining elasticity of demand is how much of your budget you spend on the good. Variable costs are costs that rise or fall depending on how much a good is produced. Subsidies. A government payment that supports a business or market. Subsidies cause the supply of a good to increase.
Lastly, just a couple more words from our expert.
Business since 2016. Wingman has been in business since 2020, right before the pandemic hit. Yep. That's when I filed for the business paperwork for Wingman. Because before, I said I had like Rapizzi's Italian Ice and all that stuff. So I've been in business since 2016. Yeah.
And then just closing statements, like anything final you want to say about opening up your own small business?
It's not for the weak. So it's not meant for everybody. And if you think that you want to open a business, you have to understand that you are going to live a broke life. If you have that kind of mentality, like you'll win, because you're not going to be rich. It's not going to happen like that. People think because you own a business that you just have all this money in the world, and that's not the case. So if that was something that somebody wants to do, they have to understand, you got to be ready to put 10, 15 years into this before you even see it manifest like the way you want it to be. We're just like 4 years in with Wingman, so we got a lot of work to do. We just scratched the surface, so can't give up. That's what sets you apart from everybody else. Everybody else gives up. Oh, and I would say, please don't have a plan B. When I quit my job, I told myself, this is it. There is no plan B. It wasn't like, well, if this don't work, I'm going to go groom, horses for a living. And if the horses don't work out, then I'm going to be a babysitter. And if that don't work out, no, there was no plan B, C, or D. The plan was the plan, and I was going to make sure that I would be consistent until it worked.
Question time. Miss Fieldhouse, hit that pause button.